Right now. Get on the ground.
Now on Newsday TV, police use a new way to catch a suspect in Suffolk County. The prison time 2 men got for pulling off fake car crashes for insurance money.
I have to give credit to Newsday. You have done a phenomenal job at investigating.
There's a proposed law to crack down on human trafficking and illicit massage parlors after a Newsday investigation into the sex trade. Hofstra teachers and their union speak about a possible strike at the island's largest private university.
Long Island has a housing crisis. We're in the midst of it, and it's a housing crisis at every level.
We'll tell you where dozens of affordable apartments are going up in Suffolk. You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. First in Newsday, there's a proposed law to crack down on human trafficking and illicit massage parlors. Now, that topic has been the focus of a Newsday investigation series called Sex Next Door. Sherry Einhorn has more.
It was personal to me.
Westbury legislator Viviana Russell shared with us a deeply personal story from her childhood. It's that experience, she says, that prompted her to propose legislation targeting human trafficking that sometimes happens in illegal massage parlors.
Even though I was molested, I was very, very blessed that it did not go further than it did. I was not trafficked, but there are thousands of people who have been.
It's a topic Newsday has been covering extensively. Our investigative series, Sex Next Door, found many of these spas reopen hours after being raided by law enforcement. Nassau police have arrested hundreds of women working at spas, but not the men who admit they pay for sex. These illegal massage spas are nestled in neighborhood shopping centers and communities across the island.
I have to give credit to Newsday. You have done a phenomenal job at investigating.
Who and how enforcement is done was a hot topic at a recent meeting hosted by the Hicksville Chamber of Commerce.
I know even in my own town, it's happened a couple of times with one or two of the places that we had. They did close up, they did open up again, and now they're closed permanently. Did they move on? They probably did. But my thought is, and my question is, how do we stop this?
The proposal amends a law already on the books that addresses sex trafficking in hotels and motels. It would require spas to have proper state licensing, prove their employees are paid, and not allow anyone to live at the spa or sleep there overnight.
This proposal is definitely the harshest of its kind in terms of enforcement in the region. The Democrats are proposing increased fines for business owners who run these operations, up to $25,000 for repeat offenders. They're also going after property owners and landlords.
The legislature's Republican presiding officer, who decides whether to bring the bill up for a vote next month, didn't say if he would. A spokesman for County Exec Bruce Blakeman didn't respond to questions asking whether he would support it. Here in Suffolk, town and county officials use public nuisance laws to shut down spas where there's been illegal activity.
The activity of prostitution, which is what really you guys have been reporting about for the last several, couple of months, that would be covered under the public nuisance law that goes back to 1985.
The Nassau legislation also calls for the creation of a working group to monitor human trafficking and readdress laws as needed. It also proposes using the fines that are collected to help trafficking victims.
It's being talked about more, which is a great thing.
For Newsday TV, I'm Sherry Einhorn.
Authorities say 2 Brooklyn men have been sentenced for staging car accidents for insurance payouts, and one crash involved a driver from Massapequa. Take a look. This dash cam video shows another crash where the suspects cut off a woman on the Belt Parkway and, according to prosecutors, deliberately smashed into her in reverse. You can see it there. Victor Murillo was sentenced to 2 years in prison, and Jamie Huria Cocha will serve 1 to 3 years. A police drone helped catch this alleged burglar in Lindenhurst. Authorities say when cops responded to reports of a burglary on Richmond Avenue, the suspect, Isaiah Miranda, already ran off. Well, after the drone spotting, officers on the ground were able to locate Miranda, and as you can see, they were able to arrest him. And first in Newsday, lawyers for Andrew Dykes, the man accused of murdering and dismembering Gilgo Beach victim Tanya Jackson, asked the judge to drop the murder charge. Now, they say detectives violated Florida privacy laws during their investigation. Jackson's remains were found at Hempstead Lake State Park and Ocean Parkway. That's where the remains of the toddler she and Dykes shared were also found. And a judge has agreed to delay the start of ex-Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Michael Jeffrey's trial until next January after requests from his lawyer. Now, it was scheduled.
We're here to try to move Hofstra to be fair and to let the parents and the students know that we're looking for fairness in the contract and that we want the semester to start on schedule. We don't want to strike.
Hofstra professors and their union officials gathered on campus today to send a message to the university's leadership. Their contract runs out Monday just as the new semester starts. Sticking points in the negotiations include higher wages and benefits. The school has said it's making contingency plans in case of a strike. And more affordable housing is coming to Long Island. Newsday TV's Andrew Enger shows us what's happening in Port Jefferson.
It was only a ceremonial demolition, but this old rundown building in Port Jefferson will soon become new affordable housing.
We're starting a real hub of development and investment in our community, and we're excited to see it move forward.
Called Perry and Main for the intersection where it resides, the 53-unit building will feature multiple-size rental apartments priced affordably for young and old alike. There will also be accommodations for disabled residents and veterans. The apartments will be rented through a lottery system. Just half a block from the Port Jefferson LIRR station, Perry and Main will be right next to an existing affordable apartment building.
We need about 110,000 units, so 53 is certainly something to celebrate, but there's a lot more work ahead of us, and we're really excited to get going.
The project was partially funded through state and local tax breaks and grants. According to the Long Island Association, it's a worthwhile investment, adding the region's economy depends on people of all ages staying and working on the island.
It's critical to our future that residents can afford to live on Long Island. It's more expensive to live here than many places in the entire country.
Developer Conifer Realty says the building next door had thousands of people interested when it opened several years ago. The company says people can now register online for the new property. Are you expecting the same numbers here?
Absolutely, yes. A lot of Long Islanders need affordable housing, so for sure. We're happy to house them and be good neighbors.
Well, the developer says in about 2 weeks they'll start knocking down this dilapidated old building, and then in about 18 months they'll have the building finished and ready for move-in. We're in Port Jefferson. Andrew Enger, Newsday TV.
A new tropical storm has formed in the Atlantic, and it has a familiar name. Now, in pure coincidence, the name of the storm is Dolly. It comes days after the passing of music icon Dolly Parton. The storm is expected to stay relatively weak as it approaches the Caribbean islands over the weekend. All right, let's take a look at your local weather with Newsday meteorologist Jeff Banson.
Well, there are some pockets of heavy rain popping up off to our west, and there will be some flooding concerns from the Hudson Valley down through New Jersey and into New York City. Some of these showers are going to graze Nassau County, and so the Weather Service has included Nassau in a flood watch through 11 o'clock tonight. But this is going to be a very isolated event, nothing like what we had a week ago when we had that 3 to 4 inch rain event for the entire island. So we take a look at the Great Neck planner through this evening, a couple lingering showers and then mostly cloudy skies heading into tonight, mild and muggy out there. Let's move it east, though, in Hauppauge. You're likely not seeing really any rain. The further east you get, you're not going to see a drop of rain. So this is a location-based forecast for sure. Now, the humidity has been very evident, certainly compared to earlier this week where it felt cool and refreshing. It's been pretty muggy out there, and it will continue into tomorrow before some more refreshing air for the weekend. Now, rain aside, the cloud cover is a big deal for tonight. That's because we have the lunar eclipse coming in, and it's going to be some pretty patchy cloud cover. But I do think some of us are going to be able to see this, maybe not constantly. Clouds will come, clouds will go, so fairly intermittently. But let's take you through the eclipse timeline. Things get kicked off at 9:23, and as we work our way towards the midnight hour, we're going to start to see that full shadow, the umbra, approaching and covering 93% of the moon. So there you have it, right around midnight, and then things start to wind down as we get through 1, 2, and 3 a.m. Things are done for. So I think, we're going to have some opportunities here. Again, it's not going to be cloudy 100% of the time, so we will be able to see a little bit of the eclipse here. If you have a picture or video, make sure to tag me on social media or send it into Newsday TV, and we will show it here coming up tomorrow. We'll be back with the 7-day forecast in just a bit.
All right, coming up, new data reveals a drop in ICE arrests on Long Island. We dig into the numbers and the possible reason why. Plus, decades after 9/11, there is a trial date set for the alleged mastermind of the attacks that killed nearly 500 Long Islanders. And
all in all, I spent on Amazon around $700.
The pricey items that have Long Island parents feeling back-to-school sticker shock. It's all coming up on Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
We cover everyone, from the mom and pop shops to the corporate giants on Long Island.
I'm passionate about digging for the truth. We're doing what nobody else does on Long Island.
My goal is to explain how major economic trends and policy changes impact the real estate market in your neighborhood.
If you want to know where your tax money is being spent, you should read Newsday.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
Long Island is fortunate to have some great schools.
The future of Long Island is in the classroom.
It makes a difference when people see their faces and experiences in the pages of our newspaper.
You want to know, how's it going at my old high school?
Parents and students alike are making big decisions about where to go to school, how much student debt to take on. And here at Newsday, we help people make those decisions about their lives.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
There's a lot of political noise around immigration.
It's a major story on Long Island and across the country.
Immigrants being picked up in different places on Long Island.
Families really being ripped apart. It's tough to see it and to write about it.
There are certain types of stories that every news outlet will do, but there's a lot just sitting in the shadows, often ignored.
That's why Newsday is such a critical institution on Long Island.
We have to be fair and balanced.
Being able to get data and facts and numbers for people to look at and ground our understanding of what's happening.
To shine a light on injustices that are happening out there.
To raise the voice of the unheard.
If we at Newsday were not telling these stories, no one would know.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I like making travel feel fun, fresh, and totally doable. My name is Carissa Kelman, and I'm a travel reporter for Newsday. We show a side other outlets might not, because we are hyper-local.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I'm Ken Bufa in the newsroom, and new data shows that ICE arrests nationwide have been increasing, but on Long Island, it's a different story. I'm here with Anastasia Valiva, and you have some insight on these numbers, so what's happening?
Right, so my colleague Josefa Velasquez and I have been looking at the new data that was released on Monday, and it shows that while nationwide the arrests have been climbing and they really reached a historic high of almost 50,000 arrests in July, on Long Island they have been decreasing since January. So we reported that in January it was a historic high, more than 300 arrests on Long Island. So since then they have been steadily going down, with less than 100 arrests per month in the last 5 months.
So my question for you is, why is it different here on Long Island?
Right, so experts name several possible reasons. One thing they say is a potential upcoming election for governor, and Blakeman realizing that his enforcement of immigration might not work well with Latino votes, which he needs. And another reason that the experts agree on is resistance of local initiatives, government groups that limit cooperation of local police with ICE, neighborhood road watch groups, legal community, business that tries to protect their employees. So all of it, all of the Latino community joining forces is really starting to bring their results.
Officials say a Valley Stream resident is in serious condition after a house fire on North Terrace Place. Now, it happened around 6 this morning. Luckily, there were no other injuries, and the cause of the fire is being investigated. Sun's Liquor and Wines on Clinton Street in Hempstead is closed after a fire in this 2-story building. Authorities say the flames started in the liquor store last night. No one was hurt. The cause of the investigation is underway. A trial date has been set for the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 3 others accused in the plot will head to court in June of 2028. A trial was previously scheduled in 2021, but later got canceled. The men are among the last detainees being held at a U.S. military base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And back to school is almost here. The Jericho and East Williston districts are the first to return this coming Monday. Brentwood, Sag Harbor, and Floral Park have a later start date of September 9th. While some parents are excited about their kids going back to school, they're not as excited about the price of back-to-school shopping.
All in all, I spent on Amazon around $700, and that was just for some basic clothes for the kids, all 3 of them. T-shirts, pants, some fall clothes as well. It's going to be close to $1,000 in the end, between the sneakers and water bottles and all the school supplies for my high school student.
Nonprofits and organizations have hosted backpack drives and school supply giveaways throughout the summer, some even reaching nearly 1,000 kids. Newsday education reporter Don Zoe spoke to some parents about ways they're saving.
We actually have a survey that shows more parents, most parents are starting as early as July to just stretch their dollars because they have time to wait for deals and hunt for deals. Parents buy in bulk. They buy in waves. Backpack is definitely the big item. Again, you could spend from $50 to $200 or more. But also the electronics can be expensive. Some parents are telling me about calculators. My understanding is that the schools typically provide the calculators, especially the expensive ones, which could cost more than $100. It's difficult with the inflation, cost of living being so high. I just hear from parents say they're, finding it hard to put this all together at a time, where they're already juggling, right, from, their kids at home during the summer where they're not in school. They're thinking about childcare. They're, if they have to work and balance work and life. And now they have this big list that they have to compile. And if you have multiple kids, just think about the logistics of getting it all. It's quite a lot, I think, for a lot of working parents.
Now you can read Don's full reporting over at Newsday.com. All right, here's another look at your Long Island forecast with meteorologist Jeff Banson.
The newest edition of the Drought Monitor was released this morning. And if you take a look at Long Island here back on June 21st and compare it to what we see now, it's really pretty incredible. We're going to walk you through it here. So this is June 21st, the first day of astronomical summer. We had over a half a foot of a rainfall deficit. All of Long Island was in a severe drought. Now let's advance you through here and go through the rest of June into July. You can see things starting to get better here, down to a moderate drought. And then as we headed through August, getting down to abnormally dry to nothing at all. And now, after all is said and done and the dust is settled, we're talking about 1.5 inches of a surplus, meaning we got well over 7 inches, close to 8 inches of rain over the summer, and it's probably going to finish as one of the wettest summers that we've had on record at Long Island. MacArthur Airport goes back to the 60s. I think we're going to finish in the top 10. I have a pretty good idea, especially if we can tack some more rain on. Although I don't think this rain is really reaching islip. It's mostly going to be for Nassau County and the city that we're getting out there right now. The risks of any of these showers with thunderstorms, it's really just heavy rain out there. Very low risk of anything else developing, although the further west west you get out towards New York City, there could be a couple of stronger storms that could have some wind or hail. Things quieting down tonight, mostly cloudy. Hopefully you can see the lunar eclipse out there, again, peaking just after midnight. And then tomorrow, clouds and some sun. We'll also start to see some showers spark off here during the heating of the day after about, say, 1 o'clock or so and through the early evening hours as that cold front takes its time getting through. Clouds eventually parting for some sun as we head into your Saturday, and it's a really nice weekend forecast all around. The humidity is lower. The temperatures are seasonable in the low 80s. Monday, our final day of August, it looks like there could be some showers around later in the day as a system noses in from the north. We're keeping an eye on it, although I don't think it's a washout. However, Tuesday and Wednesday, better chances to feature showers and thunderstorms for the first days of September.
No one covers the East End like Doug Geed on Newsday TV.
A lot of Long Islanders say they prefer fall over summer, but they still want to enjoy the outdoors.
Explore the hidden and not so hidden gems of the North and South Fork.
This sprawling property on the North Fork has certainly changed over the centuries, but it's been farmed by the same family all those years.
On Out East with Doug Geed at newsday.com/outeast. Take an inside look at Long Island businesses as Newsday presents LI Works. Join Ken Buffa as he samples unique jobs and meets the people behind them. LI Works, now available at newsday.com/LI Works. You'll always find something exciting with Carissa Kelman on Newsday TV. From vacations and destinations to hidden places and insider spaces. Let's go with Carissa Kelman, now available at newsday.com/Carissa.
Long Island is fortunate to have some great schools.
The future of Long Island is in the classroom.
It makes a difference when people see their faces and experiences in the pages of our newspaper.
You want to know, how's it going at my old high school?
Parents and students alike are making big decisions about where to go to school, how much student debt to take on. And here at Newsday, we help people make those decisions about their lives.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
Albany is a beehive of activity. Protests outside, rallies on one side of the Capitol.
There's a lot of screaming up on the national part, but the things that impact us happen locally.
Readers can expect in-depth explainers that really dive into the issues that directly affect Long Islanders.
No other television station, no other newspaper is going to focus on the issues that affect Long Islanders as Newsday.
If you don't have anybody keeping an eye out for that, you got a problem.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
From the newsroom hub, Islandia Village officials unanimously approved preliminary plans to build a 779-space parking lot at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Now, according to Suffolk OTB, construction is expected to begin by the end of September. The parking lot would be located on an empty property west of Jake's 58. And Turkish ice cream has come to Ronkonkoma. Salip Ice Cream Cafe opened on Johnson Avenue. One of their specialties is this baklava sandwich filled with tahini ice cream. Yum. And a change could be coming to where the MLB drafts its players. Greg Serra has more.
The Major League Collective Bargaining Agreement is the cornerstone labor agreement between the MLBPA, the Players Association, and Major League Baseball. Baseball owners have now proposed banning high school and first-year junior college players from the amateur draft as part of negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement. Dreams of being drafted from your high school team, they would be shattered, done, no more. Guys who were drafted and signed out of high school and went on to reach the major league level, like the most recent Sayville native, Logan O'Hoppe, a catcher at St. John the Baptist, he would have had to gone on to college before being drafted. Ward Melville product Steven Matz, playing in his 11th year now for the Tampa Bay Rays, would have been forced to attend college first. They're just proof that this draft works. For some, starting pro ball right away, well, that's the right path. Learn from the pros how to train, how to eat, and prepare correctly. For others, the college path helps in physical growth, maturity, and in other areas that prepares the player for the intensity of pro baseball. That worked for Kings Park native Craig Biggio, who attended Seton Hall before his Hall of Fame career with the Houston Astros. Some of the key details in this proposal, well, check this out. The amateur draft for players residing in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico, that would be cut from 20 rounds to 12. That is a huge draft reduction. I remember when the draft was 40 rounds. There is also an international impact where they'd start an identical 12-round draft for just international prospects, a proposal that the Players Union has rejected in the past. Starting in 2028, a prospect to the amateur draft would have to be at least 20 years old by September 1st of his signing year and 2 years removed from the graduating year of his high school class, a restriction that also would eliminate players who completed their first year of junior college. College players, they would have to wait until after their sophomore season was complete. The amateur draft started in 1965, and high schoolers have always been eligible. MLB cited revenue in college baseball as part of the reason to implement this new rule. In addition, MLB said 75% of high schoolers signed from 2012 to 2019 did not reach the major leagues. I'm Greg Sarah.
The winner of the Islanders jersey contest is 22-year-old Elmont native James Doyle. Now, he created the Navy Lighthouse jersey. Doyle will now receive a team-signed third jersey and tickets to the game where his winning jersey will debut. Congratulations.
All this talk of back to school has us thinking that summer is over, but not so fast. If we take a look at the temperature outlook for the beginning of September, yeah, all the cool stuff is in the Pacific Northwest. We've got hot weather for the eastern third of the country. The Northeast will be warm. Seasonable temperatures this time of year, upper 70s to around 80. And so we could even be a little bit above that as we look forward towards next week and beyond. Muggy night out there with mostly cloudy skies. A stray leftover shower. We're in the 60s. Hopefully the clouds cooperate and we can see that nearly full lunar eclipse, just shy of that. 93% of the moon will be covered up. Limited sun tomorrow and a late day shower, pop-up thunderstorm. Temperatures are fairly seasonable as we go forward in time here. Keeping those numbers around 80s. Now, they could be hampered a little bit next week by some shower and thunderstorm activity, keeping things a little bit cooler, but it'll be warm. It'll be a little bit on the humid side, and I think it'll stay like summer, even if we head back to school.
All right, see more on these stories over at Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other services you see below. I'm Ken Buffa. More local news and your forecast coming up on Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
No one covers the East End like Doug Geed on Newsday TV.
A lot of Long Islanders say they prefer fall over summer, but they still want to enjoy the outdoors.
Explore the hidden and not so hidden gems of the North and South Fork.
This sprawling property on the North Fork has certainly changed over the centuries, but it's been farmed by the same family all those years.
On Out East with Doug Geed at Newsday.com/Out East. Take an inside look at Long Island businesses as Newsday presents LI Works. Join Ken Buffa as he samples unique jobs and meets the people behind them. LI Works, now available at Newsday.com/LI Works. You'll always find something exciting with Carissa Kelman on Newsday TV. From vacations and destinations to hidden places and insider spaces. Let's go with Carissa Kelman, now available at Newsday.com/Carissa.
Long Island is fortunate to have some great schools.
The future of Long Island is in the classroom.
It makes a difference when people see their faces and experiences in the pages of our newspaper.
You want to know, how's it going at my old high school?
Parents and students alike are making big decisions about where to go to school. how much student debt to take on. And here at Newsday, we help people make those decisions about their lives.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
Albany is a beehive of activity. Protests outside, rallies on one side of the Capitol.
And there's a lot of screaming up on the national part, but the things that impact us happen locally.
Readers can expect in-depth explainers that really dive into the issues that directly affect Long Islanders.
No other television station, no other newspaper is going to focus on the issues that affect Long Islanders as Newsday.
If you don't have anybody keeping an eye out for that, you got a problem.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.